Good morning to all. It's a pleasure to share some thoughts with you at the beginning of this important retreat. I really wanted to be there in person, but previous commitments made it impossible. So I'll share my thoughts through the medium of video. Kevin Hyatt and Mike Comber are on site to join you in the dialogue. This is a very special year. It marks 100 years since the technological achievement of powered flight was turned into a business with a scheduled flight across Tampa Bay on January the 1st, 1914. And this year we also commemorate the 70th anniversary of the Chicago Convention. That document laid a very solid foundation for the safe and efficient development of civil aviation in the post-World War II era. Those present at the first flight in 1914 and the signing of the Chicago Convention in 1944 were visionaries, and they probably knew that their actions would have great consequence. But I doubt that any of them could have imagined the globally connected world that the civil aviation industry has created. This year we expect some 3.3 billion passengers and 50 million tons of cargo to fly on nearly 50,000 routes. The industry supports jobs for 58 million people and makes possible $2.4 trillion in economic activity. Aviation is a critical enabler of the global economy. And it enriches the human spirit with the freedom of mobility, with a speed and breadth that wouldn't otherwise be possible. Aviation is a special industry, and its success can only be achieved through teamwork and strong partnerships. At the operational level, airlines, airports, and air navigation service providers are at the heart of a complex value chain that efficiently supports almost 100,000 safe flights every day. The amazing choreography that makes this possible is built upon global standards, starting with those under the Chicago Convention. Standards for a dynamic industry such as aviation need constant nurturing as they evolve to meet the industry's changing needs and to take advantage of emerging technology and best practices. ICAO is the chief custodian of this process, and your important work is fully supported by the industry. From IATA's perspective, ICAO is our most important partner. And I would say that we, along with other global associations such as ACI and CANSO, share a responsibility to work together and with ICAO to ensure global connectivity. I've made strengthening partnerships to deliver results a focal point of my tenure at IATA. And I highly value the support of the ICAO Council members and the ICAO Secretariat. We all share a common goal to facilitate the success of air transport, success that delivers important economic and social benefits to the world. Air transport faces many challenges. The top priority is safety and security. That is paramount. On top of that, airlines face well-known financial challenges. This is a good year, yet airlines will only make a net profit margin of about 2.5%. Put another way, for every passenger carried, airlines will retain less than $6. For airlines, the constant battle to keep revenues ahead of costs motivates a focus on efficiency. In the face of these challenges, the IATA-ICAO relationship is critical to effective global connectivity. ICAO's standards and recommended practices, or SARPs, are the backbone of air transport. ICAO has been responsive to industry requirements, not only in the production of standards, but also in the establishment of policies. We especially appreciate the new focus of ICAO's efforts with regards to SARPs production being subject to proper reasoning and solid impact analysis, and followed up with a focus on implementation. There are many examples of successful ICAO activities achieved in partnership with IATA and other industry players. These include the recent joint work on extended diversion time operations, fuel reserves, operations in the presence of volcanic ash, and fatigue risk management. Similarly, we're working side by side in GO teams, helping states to initiate implementation plans in areas such as runway safety and PBN. All of these make an invaluable contribution to safe and efficient air transport. In other words, we have a winning formula for working together that delivers tremendous value. We need to continue such efforts. And I would like to take this opportunity to suggest some areas where I believe will be helpful to focus on further development. The first is on harmonisation of regulations. We all recognise the importance of setting standards so that we have common rules and approaches around the world. And we've achieved this to a large degree on safety. And the results are obvious in the industry's performance. But many areas remain where regulations are not harmonised. And I would go so far as to say that we're even seeing a worrying trend of fragmentation. Operational specifications, for example, is one area where we see a proliferation of states imposing counterproductive complexity. Another is the growing number of states implementing special consumer protection regulation, which is not harmonised across borders. The disorderly development in both these fields has caused measurable efficiency losses to airlines. The second is cross-referencing of standards. Although this has been a long-standing objective set by previous assemblies, there is a need to put the idea in motion. Our recent work to do this in the area of ground handling will certainly be a good test of how we can reduce the time and effort required in the process of standard making. And I believe that there are many other areas where this approach can be applied to deliver value. The third is joint efforts at implementation. I know that this is a big focus of the ICAO work plan, and we're committed to helping. Two areas that we're particularly excited about are the Global Air Navigation Plan and the Global Aviation Safety Plan. These are blueprints for the future. The completion of their processes for practical implementation is essential to bring these high-level plans to reality. And lastly, I would comment on the specific priority of sustainability. Developing a global market-based measure framework at the 39th Assembly is of critical importance. We thank you for having invited the industry to participate in the deliberations so far. We fully appreciate the difficulty in building consensus among states on this. We try to make the work easier by building an industry consensus on the issue. And I can assure you that we will spare no effort in further supporting a successful result in any way that we can. The world's eyes are on the aviation industry, and we can be proud of the leadership position of aviation on this issue. No other industry has been so ambitious as to set a target to achieve carbon neutral growth from 2020. Failure to achieve this is not an option. So I will repeat that you have our full support in the enormous and challenging work that lies ahead. Over the last months, I've reflected a lot on the progress that aviation has made over its first century. It's nothing short of amazing. And we've only just begun. The cooperation of ICAO with the industry has certainly played a big role in building the aviation industry of today. And as we look to building the next century of civil aviation, our continued efforts to build and implement the global standards for a safe, secure and sustainable global air transport system remain of paramount importance. Once again, I'm very sorry I can't be with you in Montebello for this retreat, although I'm sure my IATA colleagues will do a great job of representing the airlines as you undertake your very important and serious deliberations. I hope you have a most enjoyable time and in particular a very productive time working towards the future of this great industry. Thank you very much.